I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, they budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will even compensate them so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs. During the course of erecting a building, either residential or commercial, you sometimes see the need to fence your building or your properties as a measure of securing your property or as a means of demarcation. If this is not done, it may lead to a form of hazard to you, to your property, and to other people around. Welcome to another episode of Property Doctor, the show that brings to property owners and property users the easiest remedies to beautify your homes, to maintain your homes, to manage your homes, and to help you save money. On this episode, we'll be talking about fencing. First, I want you to know that a fence is a structure that just encloses an area, typically outdoors. That is the external environment of the building, and it's usually constructed from posts that are connected by boards, maybe wire, rail, concrete, nettings, different things people use to construct their fence. There are different types of fencing with their different kinds of use, and we'll be talking about them today. You know, sometimes you have perimeter fencing. This helps you to prevent trespassing, from people trespassing or from people coming in to steal in the building, and to keep pets and children from wandering away. You can just have perimeter fencing just to demarcate the building. We also have decorative fencing, and this can be used to enhance the appearance of the property or to beautify the exterior of the building. You know, sometimes when you have done your perimeter fencing, you might also want to do decorations to adorn the fence to make it look beautiful. We also have boundary fencing to help you know the boundaries of the property to avoid misunderstanding and problems. Even in a country, we have the boundary fence. We have a fence to secure your country so you cannot go to another country. Just like you fence your buildings, you can also fence a big place. And in some states also you have a boundary fence, you know, the boundary mark, and it helps to reduce dispute and misunderstanding. We also have temporary fencing. It can be used in schools to beautify the schools. You can have temporary fencing in your sites just to demarcate and to keep people from entering into the site, and you can manage the site properly. But if you have a temporary fence in the school, it's just to keep the children safe from wandering away from the school. Now, the cost of fencing is actually very relative, and it all depends on the type of material you want to use to construct your fence. And these include concrete. When we talk about concrete, you know, you need the aggregates, your sand, your gravel, your water, cement. So if you have so much money to construct a concrete fence, then you might put this into consideration. We also have barbed wire, we have wood, welded mesh, and wrought iron can be used to construct fence. Now, when you're using wrought iron, it's also known as ornamental fencing. You can use trees to fence, you can use your flowers to fence, and also you can use stones. That is, you lay the stones in a straight line according to the boundary or according to the layout or the site plan of that area, just to know the fence. Now let's go on a short break. When I return, I'll continue our discussion on fencing. After the break, we'll examine the functions of the fence and some important things and the advantages of having a fence in our buildings. But before I go, I want you to know that Property Doctor has some products that are very helpful to your staying healthy. We have PD soap, we have PD bleach, we have PD disinfectants, we have PD paints, the emulsion paint, the satin paint, different kinds of paint, and we also have the PD bleach. Stay tuned and please don't go away. Welcome back. If you're just joining us for the first time, you're watching Property Doctor, and on this episode we are discussing fencing. Before the break, I told you that fencing are of different types, which includes perimeter fencing, decorative fencing, and boundary fencing. So many different kinds of fencing. But let me tell you some functions and uses of these fences and how we can manage them. If you have a small farm in your property or in your home, or you are active in the agricultural sector, you can use fence to keep your crops and livestock safe from predators, and you can also use your fence for partition or demarcation to arrange what you have planted. Sound barriers and acoustic fence helps to reduce noise pollution. You can see this in studios, and you can see this maybe in homes where they do a lot of recording. Now, for privacy purposes, you can also fence your homes from intrusion to keep your property safe from intrusion. When constructing your fence, there are some important tips I would like you to look into so that you can manage your money very well. When your house or a property is at a junction, maybe at a T-junction of a road, and you want to construct that fence, you don't need to cover the entire area so that cars that were driving towards that area will see through. So what you do is you construct the fence and make sure that when a car is coming from the opposite direction or from the adjacent direction, you can see the car coming, and you'll be able to take a judgment. Anybody driving at that particular area can take a good judgment before getting to the junction, because you can see through and know that a car is coming. This is just for safety. Now, in my own opinion, when we look at relationship, we are humans and we need to relate with our neighbors. So do not cover your building totally to keep your neighbors away. You can do a low fence, or you can put some barbed wire so that your neighbors can see you and you can see them, and you can at least greet one another and share some love during the season and always. When you're building your house in a compound, try and reserve space for your fence. You know, you have normal setbacks. Go according to the rules and keep your setback properly, so that when you're constructing your fence, you will have space, and you have enough space for ventilation, space for people to move around the building, and also to help in case there is an emergency. That's how much we can take on today's episode of Property Doctor. I hope you have learned one thing, or even two things, or even more on this episode. Don't forget to drop your comments below or share what you have learned from this episode. Remember, if knowledge is not put to practice, it does not benefit anyone. Join me next week for another interesting and educative, informative, and entertaining episode of Property Doctor. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly do so on the link that accompanies this video. And don't forget to turn on your notification button to get alerts on our videos as soon as they come up. Also follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at Property Doctor NG, and on Twitter at Property Doc NG. See you next time. Bye.
I'm coming. If you hand over to government to maintain, they budget the money and share it.
To live in that particular place that the house is. So it's supposed government will even compensate them, so that and pay them and relocate them to where they are going and build another house for them.
Careful engineering and management to meet human needs.